Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Laura Toner Haddock, the producing artistic director of Austin Playhouse, and I am joined by Bernadette Nason here tonight. And in a little while, we'll be joined by lots more special guests. And we're all here to celebrate the kickoff of Amplify Austin, which is Austin's citywide day of giving. Austin Playhouse has participated in Amplify Austin for the past 7 or 8 years. We always have the best time with this 24-hour day of giving. It's kind of incredible to watch the whole Austin community and really national community, because we always see friends from across the country that join in celebrating these incredible nonprofits that make Austin the city we all love. So this year there are close to 700 nonprofits that you can support through Amplify Austin. And the reason, spoiler alert, that it's called Amplify Austin is that your gift during this period is amplified. The incredible folks at I Live Here, I Give Here, they spend the whole year raising these extra funds to support these nonprofits. So everyone's donation is amplified. And this year, this is the first year ever, we're so excited. Tito's Vodka has put up a $20,000 matching sponsorship for the arts and culture organizations. So if you're in that group, if you're an arts and culture organization, your donation goes even farther. So it's a lovely event. Austin Playhouse has some matching funds. And before we get started, I was gonna swing us over to the Amplify countdown screen, because they just went live a second ago. I know. So we're gonna look at that right there. Oh, they've got it counting down. So Amplify Austin about to go live. You have this 13 seconds. I think they may have frozen the site because according to my watch, we should already be up and going with Amplify. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and let's see. And we are going to be welcoming. What we wanted to do is we wanted to create this kind of kickoff party for this event. And so while Austin Playhouse loves this day and we appreciate your support of Austin Playhouse, there are, as I mentioned, hundreds of fantastic organizations, and there are many really wonderful theater groups that are participating in Amplify Austin. And as I know, if you're watching, you absolutely know that the theater's been hit pretty hard this year. Oh, thanks. I'm glad to see some folks joining us in the comments stream over there. So it was a year ago that Austin Playhouse had to shut down production. We were in rehearsals for Paula Vogel's Indecent, and like most theater in Austin, we shut down in March. So but everyone, the activity didn't stop. Theaters, they're incredibly creative, of course, and a lot of them we just pivoted right to virtual programming. And we're going to hear from some of our friends tonight about the incredible programming they're doing, and maybe even some plans for resuming live in-person events. And a little later on at about 6:45, if you're still here, you will be among the first in the whole world to catch a very first look at Austin Playhouse's next production, The Mysterious Affair at Styles, which is a world premiere adaptation of that Agatha Christie story. So right now, without further ado, I'm going to welcome one of my favorite theater makers in Austin, the inimitable Mr. Ken Webster from Hyde Park Theater. So welcome, Ken.
Thanks for having me.
I'm gonna take this Amplify banner. Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
You can hear me, but I don't think I can hear you.
I can hear you, Ken, but I don't know. We can.
It says here, everyone can see and hear me, and I can't hear you.
All right, maybe you can try to log out and rejoin again. I don't know. They do stream. We're on StreamYard right now, and they do a camera mic check right before you get on this stream. All right, I'm gonna check.
Hello.
Can you hear us, Ken? This is like being backstage. You're getting a special tech preview of our StreamYard. Try it without those. Take out the earbuds. Because take out the earbuds and unplug this. This is theater. I'm
You're miming it for
I'm miming. That's
I'm just seeing that in the background, Ken's actually in the Hyde Park Theatre dressing room there. Yes, look.
I see Ken in a weekly meeting we're in. One of my favorite things about this very, very weird period in time is that I've had a little time to get to know some of my fellow theater producers around town, and I'm in a weekly meeting with some of them. And let's see, I'm going to see if I can ask Ken to take out here.
Okay, now we can't hear him either.
Yeah, we'll see. And so Bernadette, I mentioned earlier that a lot of theaters have gone virtual this season. Austin Playhouse was one of them. We went virtual with our Ghostlight season, is what we called it. As many people know, the Ghostlight is a theatrical tradition where there's a light that's left on a stage in between productions. And we are in this strange period in time where we needed to leave this light on our stage and sort of walk away from it for a long period of time. But we've kept creating, and you did your one woman production of A Christmas Carol as part of our Ghostlight season. What was that experience like for you? I know you've done that before live audiences, and this year you did it before me.
I know. Actually, it didn't even feel like I did it before you. It felt like I was doing it for the pinprick on that camera. And there's just this much, and I can see myself, and that was the weirdest thing ever, to be performing and actually see myself performing in that camera. But Ground Floor Theatre, bless them, provided us with a space, and it was a pleasure to do it. And I thought it was pretty remarkable the way we managed to get a set up and get lights on, and with minimal directing and minimal fuss and hardly any retakes, we managed to get the whole thing doing pretty well. So it was fun. It was enjoyable. I really hope that the next time I do it, I get to do it in front of an actual audience. But
Sure.
Yeah. So sorry, my phone. All of a sudden, my phone's going. I was thinking maybe Ken's trying to get me, but no. So it was a pleasure, and I hope that people enjoyed it. It was, in fact, at that point, the first time I had been outside my house and in a theatre of any description since March, since we gathered together for the dance rehearsal of Indecent. That actually was the last time I did anything. It makes me sad.
We had some footage of Adam Roberts, who's our choreographer for that production, and he had started working with everyone. We were in the music and choreography part of that incredible production when everything just shut down, and we had an actor that we'd flown in from he had started working. And so we were in the music and choreography. I can hear Ken part of that incredible production, but it's lagging. I'm going to mute Ken. I'm muting Ken again. I'm doing that because I was hearing my voice the second time. This is live. This is live, people. Just interesting things happen.
Unrehearsed. This is
live and unrehearsed. It's all of the things. All right. So I am going to. I'm gonna ask. Let's see, Ken. I'm just gonna kick him out of the studio. I'm kicking Ken out of the studio for a second. I would never do this to Ken in real life, but I'm doing it right now because I'm going to see if he can rejoin and if that will fix our issue. And in the meantime, I'm going to show y'all who are here a little bit more about how Amplify Austin works, because that's what we're all here for. Okay, well, first Ken's back, so we're going to see if for a second. I would never. Ken, can you hear us? Life, but I'm doing it right now because I'm going to see if he can rejoin and if that will fix our issue. In the meantime, I'm going to show y'all. Okay, Ken, if you can turn down the volume on your works, because that's what on your computer, because I'm hearing myself all over the place. Yes, for a second. I would Ken, can you hear us? I'm doing it right now because I'm going to see if he can rejoin and if that will fix our issue. In the meantime, I'm going to show y'all. Ken, if you can turn down the volume on your works, because that's what on your computer, because I'm hearing myself all right. So it feels like Ken can only hear me in the live stream lag. So in about 20 seconds, he'll answer the question that I'll ask. So we'll just have in a minute, and I don't know how we'll cue him. This is very exciting new technology, but I want Ken to tell you about Hyde Park Theater and what their activities are. So I'm going to share a couple pictures of Hyde Park productions, and we'll see if Ken will just jump in, because I think we can hear him. We're gonna see how this works. This is exciting, y'all. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen here. Now, Hyde Park Theater is one of our veteran theater companies, if you will. They have been around longer than most theaters out there, and it's had many iterations. But Hyde Park is that fantastic theater that you know and love, right off Guadalupe at 43rd Street, and some of their productions over there. This one is from, I believe, The Pillow Man, if I'm not mistaken, which was an incredible production. And this features Catherine Catmull and Zach. Bernadette helped me right now. It's been the longest day.
Zach Thomas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And this is a gorgeous set for one of their productions that Zach also helped build. Zach is a fantastic actor who we recently lost to Montana, his home state, along with Marie Falgren, who is our education director.
So Ken.
Yes. I can hear you.
Okay, Laura's probably trying to sort that out, but if you can chat a little bit about Hyde Park Theater, I'll stop talking now and just give you that chance.
No. Thank you. Can you hear that echo?
There's some pretty bad feedback coming.
How about now?
That sounds great. Now you can talk.
Okay. Well, Hyde Park Theater has been a theater space since 1982, and the nonprofit organization that exists now began in 1992, and I've been running the theater since 2001.
Hey Ken, we're getting a lot of feedback. If you can turn down any volume on your computer,
yeah,
I think that'll help. Yeah, or just if that
how's that?
If the stream is up in another tab, that's much better. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's
see. So I've been running the theater for 20 years. It was started by Lynn Alice Carey, and we have some of the best actors in town, and we do a lot of new plays by American writers and British writers and Austin playwrights. And we're very excited about Amplify this year, especially with the Tito's matching the first $20,000 that any of the nonprofits raise. It's really exciting.
Yeah, that's just incredible. I know that the folks at I Live Here, I Give Here, who run Amplify Austin have been wanting to get kind of a specific arts and culture sponsorship for years. And so I was so happy to see this year that Tito's stepped up to the plate and filled that really needed position there.
And Tito's has already done an awful lot for local theatre. So they're kind of a no-brainer right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They've done. At the bottom of your screen there, you'll see this is for Amplify Austin. Every theater company has a unique page there, and they all work pretty much the same way. So you go to amplifyatx.org and you can either search for who you want to see, or that /organizations/Hyde-Park-Theater will get you right to Hyde Park Theater's page. I love the Amplify Austin page because they have the leaderboards and you can kind of follow the action on Amplify Day. So we'll probably later on in the broadcast hop over there. Ken, what do y'all have coming up at Hyde Park Theater? I know you've been fairly active during this pandemic year.
Yes, we've done a lot of archival recordings of past shows, and we've done some audio plays, and we've got 4 audio plays coming out from our Hyde Park Theater writers group, Isabel Salazar, Raul Garza, Katie Bender, and Patrick Shaw. Those will be coming up in March on the Hyde Park Theater YouTube channel. And a little bit later on, we'll be doing an audio play that I wrote called Port Arthur, about my hometown, as on a Greyhound bus driving to Port Arthur, Texas for Christmas.
Oh, that sounds delightful. When do the audio plays start coming out? When can we?
They will be this month. I'm not sure yet. It'll probably be somewhere around the Ides of March, or perhaps a little bit later, but I'll know soon. And we're also going to continue doing some of our archival recordings of past shows, and we will probably do some streaming shows before the end of the calendar year. Record them at the theater and then stream them on our Hyde Park Theater YouTube channel.
That sounds fantastic. We're all looking forward to seeing that. So this is Ken Webster with Hyde Park Theater.
Ken, when is your power hour?
We don't have a power hour, but it's too late now. But apparently we're among the leaders for early donations. So it's very possible that we might get a $2,500 bonus, because we really worked on getting some of those early donations in, and I think we are going to do pretty well.
That is fantastic. This is, as I mentioned, one of the things that's so much fun about Amplify Austin. They have tons of prizes that they're giving out. Austin Playhouse goes for a $1,000 prize for most donors during 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Friday. And they have tons of prizes for early donors, for most donors during hours, and they split it up by the size of your organization. So if you're a smaller group, you still have the opportunities to really have those donations amplified during this 24-hour day of giving. So thank you so much for joining us, Ken. I'm sorry we had those technical difficulties, but I'm glad.
Oh, I'm sure it's either me or my computer, but thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. You have a great day. All right. We are about to be joined by Caroline Reck from Glass Half Full Theater Company. And I'm really excited to have Caroline with us and tell us Glass Half Full has a lot of really exciting things coming up. So without further ado, I'm going to add Caroline to the stream up here, and welcome. And I'm gonna get rid of this Hyde Park Theater banner because we have.
I didn't bring my own banner, but
I have your own banner right there.
Lovely.
We have them all here. We are as we're doing for this Amplify Austin kickoff this hour, we're talking to some of our friends in the theater community who are also participating in Amplify Austin. Caroline, thank you so much for being here. And I would love to just hear, I mean, it's a pandemic year, but I know that you've still been creating some incredible work and have some really exciting things on the horizon. So tell us a little bit about what is Glass Half Full Theater?
Sure,
yeah. What do y'all do?
So we are a devising company. Everything that we make everything in Austin. So we write our own work. We devise. Actually, the process sometimes works a little bit in the opposite of what you think of a traditional sort of playwright writes a play and then a director picks a play and then it casts the actors. We tend to start with an idea or a theme that we want to talk about or promote, and then we build the story on top of that. So sometimes that means early scripting, but a lot of the time it means improvising and devising around a theme and then going back and writing. So writing isn't necessarily like the first step. But we do end up scripting, about 75% of our work ends up being a script at the end of the day. So that's kind of a big point, is that we devise, and that everything, when we're asking for donations in Austin, literally all the artists are here in Austin. None of it's going elsewhere. We do puppetry and physical theater. Physical theater is I think everyone knows what puppetry is. Everyone thinks they know what puppetry is. But physical theater really refers to theater that is where the movement is telling us at least as much of the story as the words are, and tends to be super physicalized. And then we do all different kinds of puppetry. We create work for adult audiences as well as youth. We actually started out, when we first came to Austin, we were doing entirely adult work. And then people started kind of saying, puppetry, I think kids might really dig puppetry. You know that? And I was like, really? Turns out they do. So the same year I had my daughter, 2015, we actually started doing work for kids. And now that is a lot of what we do, like 50%, I would say, easily at this point.
I want to show, I've got a couple images from some of your productions that I want to share with folks. And you can, let's see. Now, so tell me. So one of your productions, I know you employ local actors, but one of them is going to be traveling out of town.
Well, yeah, actually, it's virtually traveling out of town, and it opened this week. So we have a show that we originally created back in 2015 at Zach Theater with Teatro Vivo, and then we've kind of taken it on from there, called Cenicienta. It's a multi-generational show, we like to say. Mm-hmm. There it is. Cenicienta is Cinderella in Spanish. It's a bilingual Cinderella story. That the character Belinda that you see there is the only actress on stage, and all of the other characters are performed by her. They're objects that she puppeteers, 18 different characters as part of the show. And it's kind of a Cinderella story within a Cinderella story. She puppeteers the traditional sort of fairy tale of Cinderella as she's trying to work out her own Cinderella story, which is that she's been kind of ignored and left aside by her stepfamily and rejected, and she has to kind of learn how to stand up for herself and her culture. And so the great, really cool thing is that this Monday, this show opened virtually at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., and is going to be playing for 4 months as part of their virtual season for youth. So they have it's the inaugural production. It literally opened March 1st. And then every 2 weeks for the next month and a half, they're going to add another awesome kind of multi-generational theater for youth company in. And some that I'm super excited about, Manual Cinema from Chicago, which is like Emmy Award.
They had a Christmas Carol running in Austin this year. Yeah, that's so fantastic. That's incredible. This is from another one of your productions, and
so this is a show. When I say multi-generational audiences, all I mean is that when we're making our work, we have some work that's really explicitly adult because of the topics or themes, and then we have work that's really, has some educational thematic to it. But the majority of our work is really written so that you can experience it at whatever level you reach it at. So we have a lot of really high jokes, and then sort of some sillier kid jokes, and it's something that like a whole family can experience simultaneously. This show is called the Kukui Project. We've been working on it now for a few years, and of course it got delayed by the pandemic. This is not one of those pieces that we wanted to put virtual. Almost everything else we were working on, we made a virtual. I'm sure like many theater companies in Austin, we've all kind of become like film production houses with half of our theater budget. meaning our halved theater budgets are now supposed to be making film productions.
Mm-hmm.
So that show, though, is something that we're kind of holding out for when theaters open. It's got some magical realism elements as well as some horror elements. And the idea behind it is called the Kukui Project. The Kukui, if people aren't familiar, is a kind of like a terror character, folkloric character in Latin American cultures, Mexican American, and southern, southwestern Texas culture as well. The Kukui is kind of like the boogeyman, but that's not. It's more than that. It's the Kukui is what your grandmother threatens you with. If you're not behaving well, then the Kukui is going to come and get you. And there's a whole bunch of really cool folkloric figures like La Llorona. Some people have heard on. She's the wailing woman that will steal you away if you're out at night as a child. La Lechuza, you showed an image of the owl. That's an owl puppet that's been made by Annie Ulrich, and it's going to be worn as a puppet on the head of Marina Dio Pedraza, performs it as a puppet, and then it also kind of becomes this headdress of the Lechuza when she appears in her full form. La Lechuza is like an owl woman witch character.
I can't wait to get back to live theater and the ridiculous amount of creativity that just comes at you. You're exactly right. We've all become much better at our filmmaking skills over this. I edited a quick teaser trailer this afternoon for our upcoming virtual production of Mysterious Affair at Styles, which is not anything I could have done a year ago.
Yeah, y'all. I didn't wear glasses the last time anybody saw me in real life. I have to wear glasses now because of how much time I spend looking at a computer, which was not the case before, really.
No, absolutely. And there are opportunities that this virtual world provides. Like, we've wanted to do live streams for Amplify before, but it always felt a little daunting to me. Whereas this year, it didn't feel daunting at all. I said, I'll just reach out to some folks and I can talk for an hour. I do that, before any of our virtual productions. I talk for a while, and so there are some changes that we'll probably still incorporate. But oh my goodness, I'm ready to get back to some of that, the magic that theater offers that no other medium does. And
just the sense, even thinking about this show we're working on that has horror elements, like the opportunity to have something come from behind an audience or surprise you. It's really hard to do in the same way with like the two-dimensional screen.
Sure. And that's why I think this Amplify Austin, this day of giving, where there are so many worthy organizations in Austin, worthy nonprofits, and but the arts, the theater in particular, is part of what makes this city worth living in. And so we're being joined by some of our friends in the theater community tonight. You can just go to Arts and Culture on amplifyatx.org, and I'm gonna share my screen here a second so you can see what we're talking about there. So this is amplifyatx.org, and this is the leaderboards, and so you can come in here and say, I want to look at arts and culture. I want to see how some theaters are doing, and I just want to say, I want to see what some smaller organizations are doing. And you can see how they've raised, and these groups are going to win extra prizes. Your donations to them are going to be amplified by I Live Here, I Give Here's fund, as well as Tito's Vodka, which has pledged a $20,000 sponsorship for arts and culture. And then if you want to search for a specific group, like Great Glass Half Full Theater, because I heard some cool things about them on something, and then they're just right there, and you can go to the pages that they have set up, see how they're doing, contribute, choose your own amount. You could become a recurring donor, and you can learn about some really, really wonderful groups doing some great work in Austin. So Caroline, is there anything else you'd like to share with us tonight? Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm so happy to see you both, even though it's not quite real life.
It feels so much better than nothing.
I know. I haven't seen you, Bernadette, in this whole like at all this year.
No. Oh yeah, no, I know. And as soon as I saw it, my eyes filled up.
Well, you know what? We just run into each other in theater lobbies. That's where I see you. Is we'll bump into each other and sit next to each other to show, and then that's not a thing right now. So
it has been the hardest thing of all the things I've missed. Not seeing friends in theater lobbies. Well, theater itself, obviously, but meeting the friends in lobbies—that's been a big deal. Yeah. That's my social life.
We'll have to set up a virtual lobby a little more often and maybe invite some people around.
Maybe we can get the vaccine and actually start. Anyway, that's another story.
Well, Caroline, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to be keeping an eye out for Glass Half Full Theater. I hope you'll have a wonderful Amplify.
Thank you. You too.
And I'm looking forward to checking out your work. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye. See you later.
All right. Oh, so many great things that we miss being able to go out and see, but we're looking forward to. And the kind of amazing thing is that this work is still being created, even, and I think it's out of sight for some folks. So this is we wanted to just kind of shine a little bit of a spotlight on some of the incredible work that's being done out there in our community. And one of the first groups that had to pivot, and they had to pivot really quickly, was Summerstock Austin, because as the name implies, they're out there during the summer. And so when the pandemic hit in March, they were already, I imagine, pretty well into pre-production. So I'm going to add Ginger Morris from Summerstock Austin to our stream now, and she will she's going to let you know more about what Summerstock's been up to. So, hi, Ginger. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi. Thanks for having me. Bernadette, it's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you too.
It is great to have you here. I was just saying, it occurred to me that Summerstock was one of the first groups that really had to figure out how to approach pandemic theater. And I think y'all knocked it out of the park. Do you want to let us know a little bit about what you did last summer and then what you have planned for this year?
Absolutely. So yeah, it's true. It happened very quickly. We were trying to figure out what we could do. We already had a group of about 45 high school and college students ready to, do something. And we realized quickly that what we were going to do was going to be a sharp turn in some direction from what we are used to. And so kind of got the group of the creative team that normally works on Summerstock, and we said, maybe this is a time to turn towards the students and ask what they want to do. So we had a meeting with those 40 students and said, what's on your hearts and your minds right now, and how do you want to come at that as young artists, and how can we be here to support you? And so what we sort of, after a lot of conversations over Zoom, what we decided to do was basically we wrote an opening and a closing number to kind of have some structure and make it feel a little like a musical, since that's what we normally do. And then the students themselves went through a whole pitch process to write short films that fit within the opening and the closing number. So we ended up with 7 short films that were completely from the minds of these young creative students. And they, through like a mentoring process, they wrote the screenplays, they put together pretty much all of the elements that you would need to do in order to shoot, and then had the extra challenge of having to have everyone shoot from home and then edit it all together. But it was pretty remarkable what they were able to accomplish. It's one of the reasons that I love working with young people, honestly, is that they are resilient, they are adaptable. If you give them, a little bit of rope, they will just run and figure out how to do something cool, and a lot of them also, because we're in this digital, I heard you earlier talking about learning how to edit, and I have definitely been doing my fair share of learning film things I didn't know I'd ever want to know. But they live in that world, really. Young people, they're used to create. They have TikTok, they have Instagram, they have all that stuff at their disposal. And most of them have a little bit of editing skills, a little bit of this or that, and so to open up and give them the freedom to explore that, I think was empowering to them in a time when there wasn't a lot of creative outlets for them. So
yeah, no, I'm a huge admirer of what y'all took on last season, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes. So Summer Stock Austin has what year are y'all in now? I can't keep. What is time? I don't know what day it is, Ginger.
I'm not going to be able to answer that question, but our first summer was 2005.
So it's been a little while. So it's, you're in your teens. You're about the same age as some of your Summer Stock Austin participants at this point.
Yes. Absolutely.
So that's amazing. I'm gonna show everybody a couple images, and then if you would, I would love to hear about what you have planned. I was reading a little about it on the newsletter and then your Amplify Austin site. But I'm just gonna show some folks some of the incredible work that you often do there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. We're summer.
You see what we've done here.
Yeah. So this is an image of folks that, can't be this close together these days, but
yeah. Is there an image that's open right now?
Could you click it?
Is it not?
You need to click it, I think, or double click it.
Oh, is it not coming up?
Well, we got.
I'll try again. Y'all just keep talking for a second. I'll figure this out. I'll figure it out. What can I do?
So while she's figuring that out,
yeah.
I think one of it is remarkable to see how young people, it's almost in their DNA that they can create these. Oh, look at that! Oh, wow. Okay, I'll stop talking. Look at that.
There you go.
Well, so that's Don Elvin Thigpen and a bunch of wonderful young people singing and dancing with him. And he actually, Don Elvin has been, I think he was maybe in 5 seasons with us. And he is now living in Austin. He was, prior to the pandemic, in Las Vegas playing Prince in a Purple Rain show in Vegas. But he's moved back here. And then, that previous picture was from the Music Man, if people had not guessed. So one of the things that Summer Stock has done for the past several years is that we have something called Theater for All, and it's an original musical written by Alan Robertson and Damon Brown, and they write a new musical each year that is really for family audiences. So we like to say, you can bring your 5-year-old, and a lot of cool stuff is going on around you that's exciting to watch. Or your grandma is also like laughing at the jokes and feeling sentimental about a lot of the topics and subjects. So it is really for all ages. This particular show, I would say, it was geared towards a little bit of an older youth audience.
Yeah, there is an axe in that screen.
Yeah. So this was Haunted, which was the last one of these shows that was last season. Mm-hmm. And then this was in the same season. So that was How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And a really fun big dance. I love the big dance shows. That's kind of my jam.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are y'all doing this year? What do you have coming up? Yeah.
Well, we're excited actually because we jumped into sort of the playing around with film this year, and Damon and Alan, if you don't know them, they were 2 of the Biscuit brothers, so they have a long history of producing TV for young audiences, and so they are actually writing an original movie musical. And by writing, I mean that they just finished the first draft, and I read it yesterday, and it's awesome.
That's fantastic.
So we're very excited. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make an original movie musical with our students. And then the other thing that we're working on is we are wanting to do Bring It On, the musical. And
yeah, you are. Yeah.
If all things work out, our plan is actually to do it at a football stadium.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and we're hoping to do sort of like a multimedia sort of thing where some of the stuff is filmed and then you're seeing some things on screens outside, and then the bigger numbers where it's competitive cheering you're seeing on the field. That's our grand
so
dream for the
exciting,
summer.
Ginger. That sounds so
You will
cool.
do it. Oh, that is fantastic.
So yeah, well, you got to have big dreams. You got to go somewhere, right?
Oh, that's really neat. Thank you for sharing those plans with us.
Yeah,
Really appreciate it.
And
So this is Ginger Morris from Summerstock Austin, who is running one heck of an organization out there that supports teens and college students. And yeah, I love the work of Summerstock Austin, and I really it's just fantastic. I thank you for joining us and sharing those plans
Thanks.
with us.
And thank you for doing this today. This is so incredible. We really
It's
appreciate
fun. I love Amplify Austin because it really is just this kind of like, let's celebrate all these groups. And I mean, it's a big fundraiser for Austin Playhouse, and I cheer for my team, of course, but I love watching people come together to kind of celebrate the whole community. And so
and even though it's a competition, it doesn't ever seem like a competition. It seems very collaborative to me. Which is everyone seems to love what everyone else is doing and supports everyone else. So it's one of the great things about Austin theater.
Yeah, and certainly after this year, I'm all for supporting and collaborating and encouraging and cheerleading everyone up and down. So thank you very much. And
getting together when we can get together.
Me too. All right, Ginger. I'm gonna say goodbye to you now.
All right,
thank you so much.
See you next time.
Bye. Oh, so exciting to hear about everything that people are doing. Man, so Summerstock has this incredible deep bench. I'm going to use all my sports metaphors today on this stream, all of them. I'm going to hit it out of left field, have a deep bench of incredible teens and students that I do think were the ideal folks to kind of jump into this new pandemic theater world, and they're creating some very, very exciting things out there. So let's see. Austin Playhouse is also creating a few things out there, and we teased the fact that during Amplify Austin we'd be making some announcements on new productions, and I'm gonna get back to Bernadette in a minute, who will have an announcement. But I'm gonna do this one first because we are being joined by Mr. Ben Wolf, who I'm gonna pop onto the stream here, and then I'm gonna stop being cagey because I can't do it very well. I just want to be enthusiastic and excited about things. So there's Ben Wolf right there. Hello.
Hello.
Ben asked me to shoot him a text reminder about this stream, and I was like, that's not going to happen because I don't even know where my phone is. I can't remind anybody of anything. It's been quite the pandemic for me. But so we are here. We are celebrating Amplify Austin, the citywide day of giving that kicked off tonight at 6 o'clock, and many groups are already running strong in Amplify. We spoke with Ken Webster from Hyde Park Theater earlier, who they're in the running for one of the early prizes in Amplify. Austin Playhouse, we're asking folks to donate during the 9. You can donate anytime, but if you have time to schedule your donation between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. tomorrow on Friday, we're going for a Power Hour prize for most donors within the hour. And Austin Playhouse has been producing virtual productions during this pandemic. We've done Red Hot Patriot, the Molly Ivins bioplay. Bernadette Nason was in A Christmas Carol. We've had readings. We have another reading coming up on Saturday night of Roaring, which is a fantastic, heartwarming, and surprisingly relevant play because it takes place in a retirement home that's built underground. It's this exclusive, slightly futuristic retirement community that gets cut off from the outside world during the course of the play. And we thought it would be interesting to explore this play that put its characters in isolation and then what happens when those doors open up again. And Ben Wolfe was one of the original cast members in Roaring, but he's not in this production because Ben has his plate quite full with other things. Going to tell us about what you're directing coming up? Because this is another great theater happening in town.
Yeah, I will be tackling Twelfth Night at St. Edward's University. I think we open mid-April. It'll be outdoors, socially distanced. Actors will be masked. It'll be a brand new frontier for me. So this is going to be interesting, trying to stage a romantic comedy while not getting my actors within 6 feet of each other.
Well, if anyone's up for it, it's you. I think Ben Wolfe is one of the most talented physical actors I've ever worked with. I think you're incredible. And I'm really looking forward. I'm really excited to see what you do with 12th Night. Like so many theater companies were kind of jumping into the unknown in a lot of areas. And so we've done these one-person productions Austin Playhouse has, and our next production coming up has a much larger cast. And when Ginger was talking about, Ginger Morris from Summerstock Austin was on with us earlier, and she was talking about how they may be trying to bring it on a football field with some video pieces, some live large musical numbers, but this kind of hybrid approach to theater making. And that's what we're sort of jumping into with Mysterious Affair at Styles, where we'll have a lot of remote filming. We may have some actors filmed the way we did Red Hot Patriot and Christmas Carol, kind of in an actual theatrical setting, but we're going to be incorporating some multimedia excitement here. And I'm going to give you all a first look at one of our all-time favorite literary characters. So this is Agatha Christie's Mysterious Affair at Styles. I'm not going to say anything else. We're just going to look at it. I did it today, y'all. I did it today.
The mind is confused, is it not so? Take time, mon ami. You are agitated. You are excited. It is but natural. Presently, when we are calmer, we will arrange the facts neatly, each in his proper place. We will examine and reject. Those of importance we will put on one side. Those of no importance, we blow them away.
Oh,
Wow.
that's fantastic. Oh, Ben, you look the part. My goodness.
I know. I told Ben for years I've been thinking he would make just an incredible Hercule Poirot, just Agatha Christie's Belgian detective. And this is The Mysterious Affair at Styles, is the very first appearance of Poirot in one of her stories. And so I'm just over the moon excited to be starting to work on this piece. And
I hope that we get to do it on stage at some point as well. Wouldn't that be exciting to do it this way first and then to do it on stage?
it would, and it's part of Ben knows early on in the I'm adapting the story to for the stage, and early on in the process it was kind of a hang up to figure out how we'd approach it, because you can't approach it just as a theater piece, because we knew that's not how it was going to be received. But it opens up some opportunities. So there's a trial scene where you can jump from witness to attorney to another witness really quickly, and in cuts in ways that you can't do on stage. So once we started thinking of it a little more as a very theatrical film, that opened it up more. And I will say Scott Shipman is also part of the cast. He's going to be playing Lieutenant Hastings, who's our narrator of the piece. And I'm so excited for Scott to be taking on that part. Toby Minor is portraying John Cavendish, who is the kind of the person who will inherit the manor, and also one of our potential murder suspects. We have about potential murderers. We have about 9 potential murderers in the piece. And because of the way it works, there are a lot of cameo opportunities. And so we're looking forward to exploring that in the way that, you know, if in the 1930s, you'd have a play that had 30 cast members and some of them would just come on for a line or two and then pop off. But you don't really see that these days. But so it feels a little more like a 1930s piece where you might have someone just come in to be the defense attorney for one scene and then go away. So thanks, y'all, for being our first audience for the first look.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Is this what you were working on earlier, Lara?
Yes.
Well
Yeah.
done. Nice
Thank
work.
you. Yeah, and all of the images are actual clues or, you know, plot points in the play. So, yeah. So, and we're looking at May to have that up and running. We're going to also, because of the hybrid nature of it, we'll be able to film some people earlier, start building this piece. It really will have a feel of theater to it, and we'll have that sense of place, but it'll be constructed as a film, and that's kind of where we are in this day. But we do also want it to be our most accessible production. So we're also going to have an audio play version of it. There will be captioning as an option. It is highly likely, in fact, I'll commit to it right now, we will have an ASL accompaniment to it. So we want, so I think that part of what we can do with this time is really get a lot of our our support in place for these productions. And I'm not a person who does very well with taking extra time things. I work to a deadline, and I as clearly was stated as I uploaded this one at about 5:15 before we got going. But if there's one thing that I think this time in our world keeps trying to teach me is to slow down and take the time to prepare and take the time to have the work supported. So I'm excited. Jackie Cross says, "Yay, Ben!" Oh.
Yay, Jackie!
Thanks. And we'll be putting that trailer up live probably tomorrow for folks.
Awesome.
And yeah, can start sharing it. So we are all here, of course. This is around the end of our kickoff hour, because we are amplifying all the groups with amplifyatx.org. As we've mentioned before, man, Amplify Austin, this 24-hour day of giving that raises millions of dollars for hundreds of Austin area nonprofits. We're in the arts and culture category. Tito's Vodka is matching up to $20,000 in donations for arts and culture. Austin Playhouse, through the incredible generosity of some of our board members, has a $20,000 match as well. So, and I Live Here, I Give Here, who runs Amplify Austin, also has a pool that amplifies your donation. So this is, I know there's a lot going on right now, but this one day, your gift to these groups goes so much farther than it will many other times of the year. So I'm really grateful to I Live Here, I Give Here for putting together this day. And I'm profoundly grateful to everyone who participates in any way, whether that's donating or just sharing posts. It's an online event. So your participation in those social media things, your little like that you may not think of, amplifies the message of all of those organizations, and it helps. So thank you all very much for joining into that. Ben, did you wanna I mean, I didn't really give you a big choice. Are you intimidated about Hercule Poirot? How are you feeling about taking on this role that's been kind of iconic in our society? We have one of our company members, her 7-year-old son, it's one of his favorite characters. So
honestly, I think that's where I'm feeling the most pressure, right? I don't want to disappoint Julian, right? It's just okay.
And fair. This is I think that's where the pressure should be.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot of pressure I feel I am putting pressure on myself because I'm not as familiar with Poirot as I would be, Holmes or some other literary character. So it's all going to be new to me in terms of, how he operates and what little things get brought out of him during this process. So, and because we're all going to be also, rehearsing by Zoom, there's going to be, this is going to be a whole new dynamic.
Absolutely, it is a new way to do theater, and so a lot of those moments that we really kind of rely on as actors during the process aren't there, and we have to learn new ones. I've directed one other Agatha Christie piece, and then there were none, which Bernadette was in. You got killed off pretty early, didn't you?
I was one of the first. Surprising. I was horrible. Get rid of me. The knitting needles.
But that was a very after, and then there were none. I was actually surprised at the amount of humor in the Mysterious Affair at Styles. It feels a lot more playful in some ways, and it's set in summertime in England, and it was just kind of delightful to realize that these characters could, many of them were very likable, and especially I think Scott Shipman's narrator Hastings is so, it's such a lovely way to introduce yourself to this Agatha Christie world. So,
wait.
So I'm looking forward to sharing more second and third and fourth looks with it that I greatly appreciate. As Ben Wolfe as Hercule Poirot being our first look. Let's jump on over. Ben, can you stay with us for just a minute, or do you need to? Awesome. We're gonna jump on over one more time to that Amplify Austin. I just want to let everyone see how that site works one more time. I think I keep closing things. I can't be trusted to navigate the
I think you do.
I think that's more responsible of you. I have way too many tabs open.
I had more. Well, early, we had several tech issues early on. Ken Webster was our first guest, and we had a couple sound issues with him, and then I briefly just knocked myself out of the whole stream when we were trying to fix it, and had to jump back in, and Bernadette was gamely carrying on and doing a brilliant job, of course.
I was the co-host.
You were the brilliant co-host. Bernadette, you're a professional storyteller, and you hit a landmark in the pandemic yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
You know, let people know what you were able to do yesterday for the first time in a year.
Yesterday, a year to the day, I performed for the first time in a public school. And I will say this is in Northeast Texas, where they are not quite as tied to the pandemic protocol as we are down in Central Texas. But I performed 5 programs in a gigantic gym with the doors open for 5 groups of elementary school children. I did an assortment of different programs, and it was absolutely fabulous. In fact, it was so fabulous. There was a point at which all the children were interacting with me, and I stopped and I said, "Teachers, come and get a picture of this, because this is the first time in a whole year I have seen 100 children do what I tell them." It was so exciting. I'm going to post it on Facebook so that you get to see it. But it was just amazing, and I got to drive through the Texas countryside, through storms on the way, and then through glorious sunshine from Northeast Texas all the way back to Austin with the tall pine trees, and then the desert as we come into Central, because we're still in a drought. It was wonderful. Anyway,
that's awesome.
1 year to the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I'm so glad you got to see that. Let me mention, we're going to pop over here real fast and look at the Amplify Austin page. This is Austin Playhouse's Amplify Austin page. And we have a goal of raising $50,000, which is a lot. But we, I don't know. It's the pandemic. Who knows what can happen? We're really excited, though, just to be participating in Amplify Austin. And we're very grateful to everyone who's already committed to that campaign. you can, if you visit Amplify Austin, I think it's really fun to go over to the leaderboards and check out how groups are doing. This is, you can see Central Texas Food Bank, Mobile Loaves and Fishes, and there are close to 700 incredible groups participating in Amplify. So it's just really fun, and it goes through 6 p.m. tomorrow night, and you will start to see those numbers fill up as they raise millions of dollars. So thank you to everyone who participates in that. Let's see, we Austin Playhouse coming up next right after Amplify, and I'm actually headed into Zoom rehearsal for our reading of Roaring. I'll have a 15-minute break to grab pizza that my family has made for me, and then I'm jumping back on that. But let's say Roaring is Saturday at 7:30. So if you would like to check out what Austin Playhouse is doing, we have a reading of Cindy Williams' play Roaring happening this Saturday at 7:30, and there are details on our website, austinplayhouse.com. And we'd love to see y'all for that. We love that you are here supporting live theater in Austin. We need you. It's been a year, and we're looking forward to coming back. And it's exciting to hear about the ways people have innovated throughout this pandemic, because Austin is such a creative city. But my goodness, we can't wait to be back with you in person.
So absolutely true.
So thank you all so much for your continuing support of Austin Theater, Austin Playhouse, all the incredible organizations that make this city just wonderful. Thank you, Bernadette. Thank you, Ben, for joining us today. And happy Amplify Austin, everyone.
Woo!
Thank you.
Bye.